Okay. Okay, we had a little bit of a hiccup there, but like I was saying, man, I enjoy your wrestling style just because it's all fight all the time. So uh, seeing you in Squared Circle Pro, like we can go ahead and talk about Pieces for Quitters. You're going to be in a tag team turmoil match with your partner Jeb Bingham, certified
Yeah,
wild card.
yes, certified wild card. It will be me and Jeb. Um, I don't have the paper in front of me, so I'm not sure who the other teams are right off the top of my. Who are my
Okay,
other teams,
I've
Wapo?
I've got the paper right here, so I can help you with that. It's
Okay.
certified wild card versus Kay Daver and Killian Crow versus two members of Gallery of the Damned versus Emilio and Cholo of the Carnales World Order.
Oh, Carnales World Order. I've been in the ring a few times with those guys.
Oh yeah,
Uh, that's probably our biggest competition right there, in my opinion. But
they are wily veterans, no doubt about that.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, no, me and Jeb. Um, you know, it's kind of a weird relationship that we have. We were kind of just thrown together, never really like hung out outside of the ring or anything like that. Just thrown together, and now here we are, a full blown tag team, and being put in a position to I don't know, be at the top of the tag team division. And that just doesn't seem to be working out too well here lately. But who knows? Maybe things will turn around at Pieces for Quitters.
Well, and let's talk about that for a second because like you said, you two were kind of put together as a tag team as opposed to it being organic, but the chemistry that you guys have, like it's like you guys have been a tag team all along. How did that chemistry come about between the two of you?
Well, we're about the same size. He's a little bit bigger than me, a little bit taller, but we're about the same size. And we both have similar abilities inside of the ring. We both kind of have a high flying style. We both kind of have a hard hitting style. And I don't think Jeb has a lot of quit in him either.
Oh no.
Like you were talking about earlier, how I have a very fighting spirit, we shall say, I feel he has the same thing. And so when you have two people who have similar traits and skills, I think it's just going to be natural.
No, and I can agree with that. And it shows when the two of you are in the ring. Like you guys tag very well. I like the chemistry there. Um, one of the things I'm interested to see because like you said, you've been in the ring with CWO before. The Gallery of the Damned. That's kind of the X factor here because Lucas Scratch has so many different people there. He can choose any two of them he wants. How do you, as a competitor in this match, prepare for whoever Lucas picks? Like how does that change your mindset?
Um, well, whenever you have a bunch of cowards working for you, it doesn't change my mindset at all. They're a bunch of cowards. They have to group up together, and he's only bringing two of them. No big deal. Doesn't even phase me at all.
Look at you coming out swinging. I like it. Shots fired already. The
I just call them like I see them, man. That's it. I just call it as I see it. I wouldn't be certified if I didn't call it like I see it, and I'm just calling it like I see it. Now, am I going to say that they're not smart and they're not clever? No, absolutely not. They're very smart and very clever to keep it together the way that they do. But from what I've seen at SCP, they keep ganging up on Bobby Venom, excuse me. It hasn't been a one-on-one situation and it stays one-on-one. It hasn't been a situation where Bobby Venom gets one of them by themselves. And if that was ever the case, I can almost guarantee it would not be good for them. So just based on those facts alone, that's why I say it's irrelevant whoever he picks, because they're going to have to team up and they're not going to be in the ring at the same time, or else they aren't going to be there very, very long. So
Now that it's nice that you put that out there because I do want to kind of explain to those who don't know what a tag team turmoil match is. We're going to start of the four teams. We'll start with two, and once one team is eliminated, whether it be submission, pinfall, count out, disqualification, whatever the reason, once that first team is eliminated, the next team comes in until another team is eliminated, all the way through until all four teams have been in the ring. Now, Kay Daver and Killian Crow. They're relatively new to Squared Circle Pro, coming in out of Colorado. They've been doing some things, man. I ain't even gonna lie about it. They've been doing some things. K Daver, Killian Crow, both of them in singles competition, just absolutely great. And now putting them together as a tag team, that's gonna be something to see. And that's another question. Like when you see somebody new like this, that's coming in from a promotion like BPW or any of the Colorado promotions, what do you do to get ready for a team like K Daver and Killian Crow?
It's important that you keep the other man fresh. So, for instance, it's probably going to be a lot of in and out if they're new, especially because we don't know what they're going to be coming with. We don't know what their stamina looks like. We don't know what their offense looks like. We don't know what their defense looks like. So it's very important, I think, to keep the other man fresh, and also communication between a team is extremely important to, like, if for instance, if I go to tag in Jeb, I mean, the teamwork itself is what's going to have to pan out. We're going to have to work as a team to make sure that the other two don't get up over on us, especially in our home of SCP. Me and Jeb have been working there a long time, and so I think it's very important that we just make sure we communicate. Me and Jeb are always communicating. If we see something that they're doing, or if they're going to try to pull something out from underneath their sleeve, because like you said, they've been doing some things. So I think the second best thing we could do is do our homework and make sure that we see the types of things that they've been doing and follow them, and kind of, maybe, just maybe, have to use one of their own tools against them, something they don't see coming.
No, I think that's a great plan. No doubt about it. This is going to be one for the books. This is going to be a great match. The whole card is set up to be great. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to run some of the card with you, kind of get your thought on some of these matches.
Oh, for sure.
We'll start off with the West Texas Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match. Now this one's changed a little bit. Initially, this was supposed to be the Canadian Pitbulls, who are the #1 contenders, against Los Crudos, who are our new West Texas Tag Team Champions. But Los Crudos getting in touch with Rick, saying now that they're champions, they want to renegotiate their contract, and there's legalities that are being taken care of with everything. So we instead get a #1 contenders match that puts the Canadian Pitbulls against Ryan Riven and Ramrock, our boys, Downfall Cathedral.
So, question. Canadian Pitbulls are #1 contenders, so why do they have to re-earn their #1 contendership?
This is my understanding of it. It's not a matter of having to re-earn. Downfall Cathedral earned a bye in the tournament.
Oh, okay.
And they wanted to wrestle, and Canadian Pitbulls wanted a match, so they obliged it. And this is kind of the Canadian Pitbulls saying, you know what, you did for us, we're going to do for you now.
Look, I love the Canadian Pitbulls. They're great inside and outside of the ring, but Downfall Cathedral is extremely dangerous. I want everybody to be fully aware of that is two big men, and that is two men who don't care whether you're walking away or not. They are going to make sure that they are the most dominant tag team in the ring at all times. I would love to have a match with them, but also it would be with very much caution. And so if I had any advice for the Canadian Pitbulls, go in with caution. Do not go in overconfident. I'm not saying to go in underconfident either. Just that is a powerhouse of a tag team. Other than that, I do think it's going to be a great match, and I think the Canadian Pitbulls got some experience there. So as far as the experience goes, I think that could possibly outweigh Downfall Cathedral. But then again, Downfall Cathedral is an extreme powerhouse of a tag team, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen their finish before, but if you have, you know that it is no cakewalk. You're not getting up. So.
No, you get hit with that, you're not getting up. Not to mention, they have zero problem flying over the ropes.
I wasn't going to bring that up first. They are they're two athletic big men. I should also throw that out. They're not just a powerhouse. They will pull things out of the bag that you've never seen before because they also have some experience, you know. So I think it's going to be a match of. I mean, that's the one where I can think of. It's going to be a match of experience, you know. It's going to be an experience for sure, especially with two great tag teams like the Canadian Pitbulls and Downfall Cathedral. It's going to be a good one. That's probably going to be, other than my match, of course. I think it's going to be one of the better matches of the night.
Well, and two of my very favorite tag teams, present company excluded, of course, are the Canadian Pitbulls and Downfall Cathedral. So, in my opinion, the winner of this match is going to be the fans because this is going to be drag down, knockout, just action from bell to bell. No question about that. The next match we have on here though is one that it's concerning. That's the best word I can put to it is concerning, and it is JP Nitro against JC Bravo, and it's hair versus hair. If JC Bravo wins this match, they are going to shave JP Nitro's wife Tara's head. However, if JP Nitro can pull this off, they're shaving JC Bravo's head.
Well, you know, I've been in the ring with JP Nitro as my tag team partner at one point. I was there to help him out and make sure that they didn't take advantage of him. And sadly, I got hit with a chair and I wasn't there to make the save. But as far as that goes, I think this one's going to come down to heart. How bad does JP Nitro want it? And how bad does he want to make sure that his wife keeps his hair or keeps her hair? And on the flip side, is JC Bravo going to, you know, because that's like his hair is awesome. I'm not going to take that away from him. He's got awesome hair. But how bad does he want to keep it? You know, I think the one word that comes to my mind for that match is who's got the most heart to keep what they really, really, truly love.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. My big concern here, it's been 8 years since JP Nitro was a wrestler. You know, we've seen him several times in different capacities, most recently as a referee, you know, Ref Nitro. But he's getting back in the ring. There's some ring rust that's a concern there. And JC Bravo is going to be there in the match, but you know you don't get one of the Carnales World Order without the others being around somewhere close.
Well, you know, like you just said, though, JP Nitro, it may have been some years, but he has some wrestling experience, so there's no reason to discount any of that. Also, he, as you just said, he has a ref experience, so he's in that ring constantly, even more than some of the wrestlers. So I think, in my opinion, that might work to his advantage because he's in there constantly. He sees this stuff constantly, and not from an outsider's view, from the guy who's right in the middle of it. So I think that could possibly work to his advantage if he uses it correctly.
Well, I know we here at the podcast are definitely pulling for JP Nitro on this one, and either way, it's going to be a hell of a match. Before we go into the next match, do want to say what's up to Mike Petty over in the chat. Says, how y'all doing, my friends? Man, we're doing good. I hope you're doing good. I hope the leg's doing good. Our boy Mike in a car accident not long ago and broke his leg. May have to have surgery on that. So, man, I hope you're doing good, and I appreciate you being here tonight. Our next match, we're going to
good.
Say that again.
I was saying to be good, Mike. Be good. Just stay up, do your thing. Hope his leg heals.
Our next tag team challenge, it's a women's tag team challenge, and I'm excited as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, we've got Nova Phoenix teaming for the first time with Angela Armstrong. Either one of them by themselves is a force to be reckoned with, but now they're together as a tag team going up against the fabulous Free Babes. We're talking Miranda Gordy and Hollywood Haley J. If you've seen the documentary Wrestlers on Netflix about OVW, Hollywood Haley J is through that whole show, and she will be there live this Saturday night, Jake's Back Room.
That's one reason to come right there. You keep bringing up these names, and I've been in the ring with a lot of them. Even Nova Phoenix. Me and Nova Phoenix have actually wrestled one another in an intergender match, and you're not lying when you say she's a force to be reckoned with. I mean, she pinned me 1, 2, 3. I may or may not have been running my mouth, but anyway, that's beside the point.
I'd be disappointed if you weren't.
She is a very dominant woman. Um, Honestly, I don't have too much to throw in on that particular match, except for I'm excited to sit down and watch it and be a fan for that, because I think women's wrestling has come an extremely long way, especially in the West Texas area, and so I love to just sit down and watch it, and not for the reasons that you think. You get your mind out of the gutter there, folks. I love to watch it because it's not treated the same way that it used to be. Like I said, it's come a long way, but I mean, it's not just come a long way as far as women being treated better. Their skill sets have also gone up because people are more willing to train and let them be on the shows. And so I'm very excited to see, especially a tag team women's match. I think that it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to just either be in the back, or hell, I might even walk around and sneak around to go ahead and watch that one, because that's gonna be a fun match right there.
It's going to be a hell of a match. I mean, you start out, you got Miranda Gordy. You can't be Bam Bam's daughter and not have that legacy behind you. And then, of course, Hollywood Haley J. She's just absolutely amazing. But they are kind of new to Squared Circle Pro. Of course, we had for Equal Rights and Lefts, our all women show. But that was her debut. So it's going to be kind of an awakening for them to step into the ring with Nova Phoenix and Angela Armstrong, because Nova Phoenix, she's just been, pardon the pun, she's been on fire lately. Like, I mean, just match after match after match. And Angela Armstrong, much like I said about you, there is zero quit. All fight all the time. Scrappy is the best word that comes to my mind when I think about Angela Armstrong, because she's not gonna, hit you in a drop toe. She's gonna come out swinging. So it's gonna be a hell of a match. I do want to say what's up to Mikey. Mikey just jumping in the chat there. Subscribed for a 16th month in a row. Mikey, thank you so much. We can't tell you how much we appreciate that.
That's awesome.
To speak to what you were saying about the women's division in West Texas, it does my heart good to see that we've finally gone beyond. We used to have the bra and panties matches and the nightgown matches and the mud match. We're done with that, because these ladies are solid athletes. And I'm going to tell you right now, back, I believe it was July, when we had Equal Rights and Lefts, which was an all-female show. The whole show was female talent, and it was one of the best shows I've seen all year. Like, just the talent alone in those matches was insanity. So I'm looking forward to this one for the same reasons. It's gonna be, or as Mikey says in the chat, it's gonna be must see.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, as excited as I am for that match, the next match makes me a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to the match because it's gonna be a banger match. But I also am sad about it because we've got the Midnight Rider, Marquise Jackson, going up against the living proof Justin Taylor. And on paper, that's great. That's going to be a badass match. But it's the fact that it's a loser leaves town match. Somebody is going to be done with Squared Circle Pro at the end of this match.
You can't treat people however you want. I'm just going to start off by saying that. And Marquise Jackson decided he was going to treat a veteran like Justin Taylor however he so chose, and turned his back on him. And there's consequences for every action, and every action there's an opposite reaction, and so on and so forth, and whatever Newton or Isaac or whoever the hell said what. But the point is there has to be some severe consequence, even though it sucks. Justin Taylor is going to have to be a part of that match, and it could go either way because you never know. But that what Marquise Jackson did was so extreme that it's going to have to. I mean, it's got to come down to that, in my opinion, because yeah, the tension in the locker room, the tension out there, the what ifs and question. I mean, like at the end of the day, something has to happen, and somebody's got to go
Well,
because
it's very personal.
Yeah.
They were tag team partners at one point. And then there was the turn on Justin by Marquise, and I'm glad you brought this up because this is the part of it a lot of people don't see is, you see that tension in the ring, you can see they're pissed off at each other. There's all that animosity, but it doesn't stay in the ring. You can feel that in the locker room, and so I mean, I agree with you. It does have to come down to this, but as long as you've been in Squared Circle Pro, and I've asked this a couple of times this week, can you picture a Squared Circle Pro without Justin Taylor?
No. It's kind of even just a hard thought to have. He's a former S.C.P champion. He's a he's a big West Texas guy. I mean, he really is. I genuinely think you can't think about West Texas wrestling without bringing up Justin Taylor's name. The dude does amazing things. He's athletic. He's jacked to the moon. I mean, he's got it all, in my opinion. And
He's the living proof.
yeah, no, literally. I mean, he lives up to that name. A lot of people say I live up to my name. I mean, I do pretty well for myself, but that guy is the living proof that, I mean, the man himself is like a dream come true. You know what I mean? Like whenever you think of a wrestler, that's who you should be thinking of, and he's interactive with the crowd. He knows. I mean, the man just knows what he's doing. Like you said, living proof, knows what he's doing. No, I mean, it's a thought I don't even want to have. I pray and hope and just I just don't want to see that happen.
Well, and let me be clear on one thing with that. Am I saying that Justin Taylor makes Squared Circle Pro? No, I'm not. Not even a little bit. But if you look back at wrestling, look back at the history of wrestling, just WWE, for instance. If you think about 80s wrestling, and somebody says WWE, you immediately think Hulk Hogan. If you think about the Attitude Era, you immediately think Stone Cold or The Rock. If you think WCW, immediately Sting comes to mind. If you talk about West Texas, if you talk about Squared Circle Pro, the first name that comes to mind is Justin Taylor. So when I ask that, can you picture it? Picture a Squared Circle Pro without Justin Taylor. It's for that reason, not because he makes Squared Circle Pro.
Yeah, like you just said, there's a lineup of guys I think of when I think of Squared Circle Pro, but he's definitely like one of the guys that I think of. And one of the main things I think of is whenever I very first started getting really into wrestling myself, and I started training and working out and starting to get my own name working in Squared Circle Pro. I would watch Ryan Justice and Justin Taylor have, I mean, spectacular matches, and they would go to the limit, and so I'm hoping to see some more of that Justin Taylor against Marquise Jackson and go the limit, and to show him who he really is, like pull, I'm not saying that he hasn't been doing that lately. I just think that he's going to have to bring it all to Marquise Jackson is what I'm basically getting at. He's going to have to bring it all because Marquise Jackson in his own right is starting to make his name inside of Squared Circle Pro, and he has done nothing but impress. And I mean, he's also a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he's
made. I mean, he's made his bones off the backs of some pretty strong people. I mean, he's definitely shown what he can do inside the ring. him, Nate Collins, TJ Slater actually put a group together called FJT. I'll tell you, JT stands for Justin Taylor. As far as the F, use your imagination. I can tell you it doesn't mean French.
Yeah, I could say a million and one things about TJ Slater right now, but anyway,
Yeah, you had a
yeah,
little interaction with him this last Saturday at BCW.
yeah, it did. My back and hips still hurt. He's he's a very strong man, we shall say.
Who is that?
Very strong.
Well, that's as much as I don't want to see either one of them leave. Either Marquise Jackson, Justin Taylor are going to be done at the end of that match. It's definitely going to be one you're going to want to see because you're fighting for it all at that point. You're fighting for survival at that point. And we have another match on the card that is fits right into that category of fighting for survival, and that is Gauntlet Armageddon. This is I've only had the opportunity to see one live, and this is one of the craziest matches I have ever seen. If you have not seen this before, let me just throw it out there. Picture the Royal Rumble. Now throw in every weapon you can think of and make it all legal. It's the Royal Rumble from hell. That's what this is.
Well, it's called Gauntlet Armageddon. It is not called Gauntlet Walk in the Park or just. I mean, yeah, I've had the pleasure / misfortune of being misfortune. Gosh, I can't talk sometimes. Of being in this match, and I mean every time that I leave and get home after a Gauntlet Armageddon, something is wrong with me. I can't walk right the next day. I can't eat right the next day. I mean, I had my lips split in this match. I got eliminated and then power bombed against a pole by Brian Rage Rivera, and that's the other thing is sometimes you end up on the outside of that ring after you get eliminated with your arch nemesis, and then y'all keep going at it. I mean, nobody's going to stop you. Everybody else is still wrestling in the middle of the ring, so you never know when something like that's going to happen. I've been in a situation where hell, just last year, me and Jeb were in the Gauntlet Armageddon together as basically as a tag team, and me and Logan Knight eliminated each other, and I was hoping to go all the way and do what I needed to do, and it's just it's brutal, man, and it's heartbreaking sometimes whenever you don't. I don't know exactly the words I'm looking for here, but it's one of those matches you're gonna feel it the next day for sure.
Oh, no question. And so I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to get Rick to come off some of these names, but I've got half of them. I've got listen to this list.
Okay.
Alluvio, Nate Collins, Clayton Bloodstone, Sam Stackhouse, Morgan Mercy, LC Mox, Stevan Remsen, Reggie Lincoln, SOS, Rob Boris, Bobby Munoz, Reza Clark, Hilda La Muñeca, and your number 1 and number 2 entrants, Brick Savage, and a pissed off Noby Bryant. That's numbers 1 and 2.
Man, I'm glad you didn't say my name with some of those names. Oh my goodness. There's some big boys in there, huh? LC Mox, Brick Savage, Steven Remsen. I don't remember who else you said, but those ones stood out to me immediately because, oh my God, that's a lot of manpower right there, And man,
this was announced yesterday. The Gallery of the Damned will be involved also. Now, here's the catch to that. No idea who or how many.
That is see what, but that's the thing is in an environment like this, they're either gonna have to team up all the way to the end, or they're gonna have to betray one another. It's gonna be it's going to be interesting to find out which way they choose, because there can only be one winner.
I'm looking over at the chat right now. Rick's in the chat with us. It says I can give you 2 more. Well, give them over. I've been waiting all week, man. One thing while he's giving me these 2 more, one thing I do want to mention about this. This is the first time we're doing an intergender. So whoever wins this, whether it be a female competitor or a male competitor, will go against their respective champion. So if one of our female competitors wins, they will go against the West Texas Women's Champion. If one of the guys wins, they will go up against the Squared Circle Pro Champion.
So they're not the women aren't getting their own separate one. It's going to be everybody.
No, they are part of the 30. It's going to get wild. Diablo Blanco now officially in the Gauntlet Armageddon.
Diablo Blanco. Okay, all right. So
Lamiga getting somebody in. Okay, I see it. The debut of a Lubbock 101 trainee who earned the spot, the Blade Runner Slade.
We'll see how he does. This is not the environment you want to show up in for your first time. I'm just going to say that. I feel bad for that guy right now, right off the bat.
It's definitely trial by fire at that point. That gives us 17 names, and of course we don't know how many of the Gallery of the Damned Lucas Scratch is going to put in, but we know they're going to be a force in there as well. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait for it. Rick did tell us there's going to be an announcement made at the show regarding the Gauntlet Armageddon. So make sure you are there early so you can catch all the information. We do have a couple more matches to talk about, though. One of those being our West Texas Women's Championship. Misty Marks. I can't say enough about Misty Marks as the West Texas Women's Champion. She is what you think of when you think of a champion. Like, she fights all comers, and she has come out on top every single time. Just when you think she's down, she's right back up, and I almost think she fights better with her back against the ropes. Like, it's impressive to watch her wrestle, but she's going up against an undefeated Nikki Chase.
Yeah. What can I say? You have that's kind of equal, right? You know, you've got somebody who's undefeated, and then you have the champion. In my opinion, that's kind of equal footing. You know, whenever you look at it in hindsight, you have somebody who's willing to fight anybody and everybody, and like you said, can probably fight their way out of a corner if they so chose. And then you have somebody else who's undefeated and is trying to probably keep that winning streak going and hold the championship. So that one's just going to be, I mean, what can I say? I don't even have words. I just said them all. There you go. Like
it's that kind of match. I mean, it's a champ that has fought everybody put in front of her, and a challenger that has beaten everybody put in front of her. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be one hell of a match. And then, of course, we've got our Squared Circle Pro Championship match, heavyweight championship match. Damo McCullough, the Thunderbird, going up against the American Tragedy Phoenix.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this is not their first interaction.
Fourth.
Yeah. So that one's going to come down to who knows each other better, if you're asking me.
My whole thing with this one is this isn't going to be a match. This isn't going to be what you think of when you think of a match. This isn't going to be we're going to lock up in the – no, this is I'm going to kick your ass or you're going to kick mine, one or the other.
I don't think that either one of them are very much a lockup guy anyway, from what I've experienced or seen. I have wrestled Phoenix myself, and I'm not saying they can't wrestle. That's not what I was saying at all in that first statement. I more just mean both of them are more of a preferable, I'd rather just kick your ass and get this over with kind of person. And they're both like that. So when they meet in the middle, I mean, I would be surprised if the mat is clean when they finish.
Oh no, I agree wholeheartedly. And the thing I do like about this though is they've had their problems in the past. No questions about that. But this was a match born of respect. Damo McCullough asked to go against Phoenix as a sign of respect for Phoenix, and I think that's awesome. Like that's the best kind of match for me, is one that's born out of respect.
Well, like you said, it's their fourth interaction as well. So I think that it's all in fairness. Everybody knows who Phoenix is at Squared Circle Pro. Like we were talking about with Justin Taylor earlier, I don't see a Squared Circle Pro without Phoenix. So that's one of those names. And now you can't think of Squared Circle Pro without Damo. I'm not sure exactly how you say it. I think it's Damo. Okay, all right. You can't think of it without him now either. Because I mean, first of all, he's holding the belt and he chased the damn thing. So I mean, it's gonna be. I think it's the new dog versus the older dog. I'm not calling Phoenix old, just the older dog, the new dog. And it's two dogs though. I mean, they're both gonna
Oh,
be.
it's gonna be a dog fight. There ain't no question about that. And that's a great way to put it. This is gonna be a dog fight. And I'm glad you did put it that way, because that takes me to the last match we need to talk about. A few details brought out about this match today or yesterday. And I'm, of course, talking La Migra versus Bloodlust. Haven't seen Bloodlust together as a tag team in a while, over a year. And of course, we had La Migra handcuff Lilith Blood to the corner and just start beating her with the belt. And from the crowd, here comes Damian Blood to save his wife. And I thought that was absolutely awesome. Now, here's the story on this match. Of course, the history from 2008 to now, the history runs between El Gringo Loco, La Migra, and Bloodlust. Um, Lilith Blood has put her career on the line in this match. She has made it clear that if Bloodlust loses this match, she's done. She won't come back. However, if Bloodlust wins this match, regardless of who it is, whatever form of La Migra this is, if Bloodlust wins this match in January, Lilith Blood gets El Gringo Loco one-on-one. La Migra banned from ringside.
I got a little story for you. As I told you earlier, I am only 26 years old, and so in 2008, I was basically a child. When I was a child, I used to watch wrestling here in Amarillo, Texas, at it was an old promotion, and that's whenever I very first saw Damian Blood, and then I also saw El Gringo Loco. So this one is going to be a very sensitive subject for me because I've seen them both, and I know what the animosity is there, and it is. We were talking about a dog fight earlier. This one is going to be just a straight murder, if you're asking me. I feel like it's not going to be good for Gringo when Damien does get his hands on him, but also vice versa. I'm sure that Gringo's hate for Lilith could also bring out a murderous rage inside of him as well. And that's the first word that comes to my mind is this is going to be one of those fights where it's full of rage. So
Yeah.
there's no telling how far it's going to go, where it's going to go, if it's going to stay in the ring, or if the ref's going to have any authority over. Refs have authority, but there's no telling what that. This one's unpredictable in my mind because this is very high tension, and it's very. it's a scary predicament to be in. Your career's on the line. There's a bunch of rage going on. There's a lot of emotions there. Lots of emotions there.
Well, I know that, of course, we had Bloodlust on the show last night. And I think Damien put it best when he said, "This is not the Bloodlust you're used to seeing, the one that had the 4 year run. This is the OTB and her attack dog." And I feel like that was the best way it could be put, because this isn't about I'm going to go out there and win a match. This is I want to end somebody, and that's coming from both sides.
Well, and Damien had just recently put out a video talking about his feelings on it and where he's at with the whole situation. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. I know you probably have, but to your viewers, y'all need to go check that out, because I mean, that's going to kind of let you know exactly what I meant a minute ago about all the emotions that are up in the air. He's saying that he had an epiphany, basically. And I mean, anytime somebody says that, it's not good news. I mean, it's not good news for the opposite side. I mean, Damien is a dangerous individual as is, and now he's talking about he's an attack dog. I mean, I couldn't. I don't want to be across from that guy and be in Gringo Loco.
No, I'm going to be in your boy here is going to be in the ring long enough to say, this is them, I'm out.
I would for sure. Yeah. That's another one though that I'll probably be sitting in the crowd, very excited to see, or in the back wherever I am at that time. Very excited to see it, but not excited for the circumstances, if you know what I mean.
No, I get you. Daddy Boss 74 in the chat saying we may need 4 refs for that fight. We may need the cops for that fight when it comes down to it. I mean, it's going to be wild. This whole card that we've just talked about is wild. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about this. This is a full-on wrestling show, and it's $10. Everything we just talked about, you pay $10 at the door, and you get to see it all live. Jake's back room. That is insanity to me. And there's not a match on here that I wouldn't say is worth the entry fee by itself.
And that's certified. You know what I'm saying? That is certified right there. That's what I'm saying. Every single match on the card is worth the admission fee alone. I like that. We need to throw that on a t-shirt and have it at the front door. I'm saying that.
I like it. See that I like it. I like it. Well, I will say this: if you are a fan of wrestling, even if you've just watched the big boys on TV, if you watch WWE, AEW, this is an opportunity for you to see where it starts. And I urge you, if you've not been to a show, if you've not experienced West Texas independent wrestling, and you're in the Lubbock area, be at Jake's. Doors are at 5:30, I believe. Doors are at 5. We start interviews at 5:30, and I believe the first bell is at 6. So this is something you're gonna want to be a part of. Just the Gauntlet Armageddon, 30 people in a ring. Come on now. Starting the whole thing off with Brick Savage and Noby Bryant. Holy hell. And it's $10. So make sure you're there. But we have come to the part of the night where we're in our last 5 minutes. So I do want to do as we do traditionally and give you a chance to say anything you want to anybody that's listening, anybody that's watching, any of your opponents coming up. My friend, the floor is yours.
The floor is mine. Oh man, that's never good news. I get myself in trouble a lot. No, honestly, I just kind of want to give. We were talking earlier about if you want to be a wrestler or something like that. Even if you don't want to be a wrestler, I just want to go ahead and let you know. Follow your dream, please. Follow what your heart tells you to do. This man Guapo's following. He does this podcast. He helps us out backstage a lot, gives advice and things like that. Me personally, I grew up in a martial art household, so wrestling wasn't really the priority. It was for me, but it was not for those around me. So I never knew how I was going to get involved, what I was going to do, and it genuinely felt like I had my back against the wall. I also had some outside issues, we shall say, and they held me back a little bit, but I went ahead and kept pursuing anyway. So no matter what you're going through in life, no matter what's going on, keep pushing. I am the certified go-getter, not for me, but for everybody out there. The reason I call myself the certified go-getter is because I wake up every morning, I kiss the morning sun goodbye, and I walk out the door and do what I got to do. And the reason I kiss that morning sun goodbye is because I'm not going to see it again until it's time to kiss it the next day. And if you're one of those people, you're also a certified go-getter. And I hope you feel me on that. I hope you understand what I'm saying. There's people out there that are struggling real hard. Guess what? We all got problems, but if you're one of those people fighting through them and you're not making excuses and you don't have a reason for why you're not doing this and you're not doing that, you are certified too. And I just want to give that to you.
Man, oh man. See, this is why I'm glad we do a podcast, because I've got all that now. And there's going to be a time when my grandson is going to be watching WWE, and I'm going to be like, you see that guy? I know him. He's a certified go-getter. And this is what he said on your Pawpaw show. Because I see it, man. That drive, I see it in you. And I hope big things for you. I really do.
I appreciate that, man.
I do want to say thank you to everybody that's in the chat, to Rick, to Daddy Boss, to Mike, to Mike Petty. If you are able, head over to the socials. If you are able, Mike Petty, of course, like I said earlier, in a car wreck, broke his leg, going to be out of work for a while. He's got a GoFundMe going. If you're able, by all means, please help him out. He's a good dude. What can I say? It's gonna be a hell of a night Saturday night. I can tell you that. Lubbock's gonna be on fire. It's gonna be great. We will be back here tomorrow night with the one and only the trophy case Nikki Chase to talk about her match with Misty Marks. So make sure you're here for that one. My boy J Rev subscribed for 7 straight month. Cameron, brother, thank you. Appreciate you so much. Draven, of course, thank you for joining the show. Can't wait to have you back.
No, thank you for having me, man. The pleasure all belongs to you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you having me, man. I really do enjoy doing things like this and getting the opportunity to be able to speak freely. And of course, I always love talking about wrestling. So, being here, being able to do that with some great guys like yourself, or a great guy like yourself. You had someone else with you last time, so I was thinking guys, but great guy like yourself, man, it's awesome. And you keep doing what you do, Guapo, man. Like, this platform's awesome, and like you said, it's growing. So you keep doing what you do, man. Freaking that.
Awesome. I'm going, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll get you back on, and when we're not doing the 1 hour run up, I'd love to have a show where we just sit and chop it up about the business. That'll be good times.
You can just call me on the phone for that if you really want to, man.
That does bring us to our 9 o'clock point, though. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here, same bat time, same bat channel, with the trophy case Nikki Chase. Until then, I am Guapo. That's Draven Reeves. We're not your average Mark. See y'all tomorrow night. Yeah. Rush.